Hello, and welcome to the Inner Knowing podcast. We are going to dive into the why of me starting my business, and hopefully, this invites you into deepening with your own why. I find this to be very helpful, especially in those moments where, let's be honest, it's challenging to run your own business sometimes. There's moments where you aren't loving everything you're doing, you're feeling challenged, frustrated. And the deeper I connect into my why, the more sustainable my actions become, especially when they are actions that I find frustrating. And so I will say, because I find this for my one-on-one clients, I found this for myself, it's the permission to let your why unfold over time. So the reason you begin might not be the reason that sustains you, and that's okay. And if you know anything about human design, and if not, there's words I can use that are not human design-esque, but it's the iteration process, very IT tech world, the trial and error, experimentation, the ability to change, to be like, okay, what I knew for sure was true then, and that was the best thing I could connect to as my why. But as I continue to show up and connect with clients and start to really notice, for me, what I got back from people most often, like when they were like, well, you did this thing, you said this thing, you showed up, you helped me. My why only became more clear just this last week, like a deeper version of the why. And it was from the help of a friend who reflected it back to me, who had come to visit me recently in Tulum, where I'm living. And for me, it's always been so important that people feel empowered. They're on their own path. They aren't like the have-tos and the shoulds. I'm like, no, we don't want that. Even when I was working in my corporate job and I had a team of 14 working for me, what I'd say to everyone on the team, I said, just tell me what your dream is. Tell me what you desire to grow, build, or become. Because I don't have a false impression that this job is your forever job. And I really hope you enjoy it while you're here. But what I believe would be more valuable is if I found ways in this job to support you in your dream, you'll want to stay in the job longer because it's satisfying who you are. Meaning, I don't think you're going to want to be a corporate recruiter in this specific role, right? We all want to grow and evolve, or probably anyone that's attracted to speaking with me, I would believe does. So let's talk about where you're at, where you want to get to, and then we can identify all the opportunities and ways that you can take on the possibility of growing. Almost everyone on my team got a promotion when they worked for me, up-leveled their skills, because that's what I'm obsessed with. As I walk through living in Tulum, starting to know this, that like everyone I met, I'd be like, what's your dream? What do you want to do? Why do you think you can't do it? Okay, great. Here's all the things that you could do to remove that. Let's get to it. And with my clients, it's the same thing. My ability within my own energetic sense is that I can see your highest potential. And I'm not bogged down by your blocks, beliefs, and your lived experience. So it was very easy for me to be like, cool, what do you want to do? How do you want to get there? What do you want to feel when you arrive? And I'd be like, what about if it was even better than that? And also, there's no rules. Do you know there's no rules? It's all made up. So let's make it up so it works for you. And the crux of the drive is that I believe a lot of my personal life growing up, my personal life, like I've got such a crazy persona. I spent so much of my life trying to fit in, trying to do the right things, be the right way, fit into the box, which I sometimes talk about, right? This perfect box that was very traditional, like you go to school, you get good grades, you play sports, you have your friends, you go to university, you meet your partner in high school or university, you get married, you have kids, and there's nothing wrong with any of those things. That's like a fucking killer life for some people, which is amazing. And I know those people and they're so like jazzed. But it didn't fit me. And so a lot of the pain was my constant attempt to fit into that box, most likely because that's how I believed I would receive love, and deny the truth of who I was. I had to really forego my own self-trust, my own intuition, my own inner knowing, my own comfort, to be honest, most of the time. And eventually, luckily, because not everyone gets there was a realization that that path was never going to bring me happiness. Now, we're not talking about happiness like blissed out state all the time. We're talking about a level of connection, satisfaction, an inner knowing that all parts of you are moving in the same direction. Who you truly are at your soul level is moving in the same direction, ideally, as the actions you're taking out in the world. And mine were always in opposition. And so about 5 years ago now, sure, we'll say 5. I'm sure I have competing timelines the longer I talk on this podcast. I began a real deepening of the process, of the realization that I was in a box and the box was never going to fit. And it wasn't that I was wrong, broken, not smart enough, not good enough. It was that wasn't the place for me. But because it'd been my reality for so long, it was really fucking painful to try and get out of it. And I spent a lot of time looking at the outside world to try and see if I could even recognize other people that were living the version that I maybe thought was there, but I actually didn't even have a good enough imagination to really believe I could do it at the time because it was so different than what I was living. And in the dismantling of my own blocks and beliefs, my ancestral patterns, my people pleasing, my attachment style, nervous system regulation, realizing I had a traumatic event happen when I was 18 months old, and say, okay, those are just parts of my experience, but if I go in and I care for them and I repattern them, I shift the blocks and beliefs, I can actually live from who I really am. And I'm not this 9-to-5 corporate woman who is super jazzed on this like climb the ladder lifestyle. That's just not who I am. I had great discomfort in going to work and being like, I can see the potential, and I'm annoyed that I have to hire you into this job because has nothing to do with actually where you're intended to be. And there's lots of examples of that. And so, I thought it was helping people trust themselves, get in touch, create things they loved. And finally, what that came down to, and this is the more maybe intense, but it's like fuck yes living. It's authenticity. It's living from your essence versus your shoulds. And that's what drives me in business, in a conversation if I meet you at a coffee shop. Basically, it's the thing I talk about all the time. Don't miss this opportunity. Don't miss this moment. If you're building a business, you can build any business. Don't build one you hate because you think you should, because your mind believed it was a good idea. Do the work to build from the place that is authentic to you, that's deep inside your own being. And so whether that's building businesses or helping people shift how they lead their companies or how they work in their personal life, that's the crux of it that drives me, is you can do anything within reason. We'll just say within reason. We'll be politically aware. I don't know. I said today, all my HR training sometimes trips me up when I get real passionate and fiery and want to say something, and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to be PC, but we're practicing speaking with kindness and love and trusting that it comes out the way it's intended to. So if you're watching this and you're in a moment of change, up level, something new coming into your reality, and the thing that you're doing most often is like, what should I do? What's the reasonable move? What makes sense? Do your best to put that down, even just for a moment. And go into like What does my heart have to say about this? What's the thing I love talking about no matter what I'm doing? What's the part of me? This is such a cheesy question, but like if money was no object, what would you do? And I'll give you some examples of recent conversations I've had, just so in case you hear your own version in here or your own invitation. I met someone in Tulum. I think he said he was like an analyst. I was like, cool. But what do you really want to do? This is what I will ask you every time. What do you really want to do? It's like, well, if I could, I started a running community. I was like, well, that sounds really fucking cool. And because I come from a very large family and I worked in my field for so long, my brother happened to have built a running community where he's from multiple times, but plugged into people that actually even like oversaw it and made money from it. So I'm like, well, I know it's possible. What are you thinking? And so we talk about it. We talk about the social media presence and what he's passionate about. And this is what happens every time I have these conversations with people like, oh, it's not like impossible. It's not fucking impossible. You just have to decide. Do you want that badly enough? Because some of us just want to keep the dream and never actually go after it because the loss of hope is more, I guess, painful than the possibility of even failure and iterating and actually finding a way it works. I met a lawyer recently who runs her own law firm. Really cool, badass woman. She's like, but I'd love to live in Tulum full time. So she told me what kind of law she does. And I was like, yeah, of course. You can set up in a consultancy and you can pitch it to organizations. And especially during recessions, organizations often want to put budget against, I'm going to use the wrong words here, but there's basically like employee budget, there's operational budget. If you're a contractor, it goes against the operational budget, which helps their numbers if they're reporting publicly or something. I hope I'm saying the right things. I know the context is correct. I don't know all the right words. And basically, if you're, highly successful and you can make a good business case, you should go for it. In fact, I heard recently on TikTok, if you're a smaller organization pitching to a large organization against big firms, what you should say is, my whole team is an A player team. Those big firms are only going to put you with their B players. And that's how you sell your small consultancy. You can see her just be like, oh, that's not impossible. It's going to take some work. And those are the conversations that I have over and over and over again. And so when my friend was like, listen, it's actually not that crazy. You live from your essence, no matter what the consequence. No one's dying here, but you know what I mean? No matter what the consequence of tough conversations, of having to move across the country, she's like, you put that at your priority level and then you embody it every day. She's like, that's your driving force. And I was like, oh. Because sometimes we can't see our own thing. Our own thing is never obvious to us, or not as obvious to us, because it's so innate to who we are. It's so innate to who I am that I don't even think that's a special gift. I'm like, yeah, but I can whatever. It drives me. I will have that conversation at dinner. If I meet you, I will definitely ask you within the first few hours, if not sooner, if it's appropriate. Not a weirdo, a little weird. And so for me, that's what drives me. That's what keeps me going, is the possibility that people get to enter that experience in their life and feel who they truly are. Their heart opens up. They're more connected to their intuition. They're excited for what they're building. Healing becomes available because they're not this dysregulated, trying to make it work, living from the mind and not from the body. All kinds of amazing things happen, and it happened to me. And I've seen it happen to tens, if not hundreds of people this time. And so I'm like, yeah, I can get out of bed for this business today. I can show up on a podcast when I talk from this piece of the pie of just saying this is my passion. I'm so excited to see you live from that place within you that you actually love, your truest essence, the thing that fires you up and lights you up. So my invitation to you is, if it's all made up and you could do anything you want, what's the thing you really want to do? What could keep you going? And if you don't know for sure, because I don't think I knew when I started with astrocartography and human design. What I liked about it at the time was that the words I used was that both of those systems gave me the permission to be who I really was versus who I thought I should be. It's the same thread. It didn't hit quite as deeply, I would say, but that was the same thread. All I wanted to do was support people in finding who they really were, not who they thought they should be. But I was like, I don't know. I'm not quite ready to trust my own self. I prefer to hide behind a tool. That's what worked for me. I was excited about that. Something to fall back on. But I've been showing up in different capacities for 4 years now. And in the action, the unfolding of me and my daily choices started to become a visible external reality that this shit works, that this is important, that I know what I'm talking about because I lived it. And the gift of 15 years of HR and recruitment, which sometimes did not feel like a gift, is I am highly adaptable at sitting with all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds and creating a plan that works personally for them. That's what we got today. I'm excited if you want to DM or send me a note about what you discover. Thank you for listening. If you're currently looking for deeper support, I have one-on-one single sessions to discover and create a small plan to get you on your path. Or we can dive into 3 months of coaching, take it to the next level. Get there, do it, be it, kill it, crush it, enjoy it. I hope you have the most magical rest of your day.